Hello everyone, my name is Cameron and welcome back to your regularly scheduled nonsense, where today you've already seen the worst. Now get ready for my 10 favorite platinums of 2025. I did actually manage to get 10 on this, just barely. Having only 50 games to choose from and not a whole lot of stuff that I really felt one way or the other about the platinum experience really made it hard to make these lists. I will say honorable mentions are a few, but I'm not really I didn't really take a lot of time to think of them. But I will say Indiana Jones is definitely on there. I had a blast playing that game. Even if the platinum was kind of long, I did enjoy that one. Batman Arkham Origins was really fun, even though most of that platinum was gotten like a year or so ago. What else? Maybe RDR2. I don't know if I really liked the experience on that game, but the game was still fun to play, so I'll say RDR2 is probably a good honorable mention here as well, even though, again, a lot of the trophies have been over the last couple of years, or even way back to when the game launched, like 8 years ago. But without further ado, let's get into number 10, which is Ghostwire Tokyo. I was debating if this was going to be the honorable mention or if Indiana Jones was going to squeak onto this list, but I think I enjoyed Ghostwires a tad bit more. The collectible hunt for this was a little bit monotonous at times, but I tended to keep the collectible hunting and the story progression kind of hand in hand and keeping it around the same amount of time rather than going from one to the other sort of thing, and that kind of helped a little bit. There was still, I think, a little bit to do after the story finished, which is why it gets the 10 spot. I've seen a lot of people really complain about the sheer amount of collectibles for this game, but I've never really had issues with collectible hunting in video games, to be fair. I always kind of find it cathartic and it's fun. You can just throw on some YouTube or some music or something and just go at it. Now, obviously, on stream I couldn't do that, but for the most part, it wasn't too bad. The game is relatively easy. I wouldn't say it's a hard game by any means. The Spider Threat update, that is kind of hard, but the actual base game and the platinum and stuff isn't very difficult to do. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the story. The studio behind it is great, and I had a blast playing through this one. It was relatively simple for the platinum. A lot of collectibles, upgrades and shit like that, the base stuff you'd expect from a game like Ghostwire, and then obviously completing the story, which was again delightful. I love it when the story I have to complete for the trophy list is always very fun and sticks with me, and I still would love a sequel for Ghostwire if they'd ever plan it. I would love to see one, but I don't think we're gonna get one, unfortunately. But it was great, and I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. I recommend this one very highly. It is a great game, and I'll say this, the ranking list is just how much I'd recommend platinuming it. It has no bearing on the number of to which this is on this list. It's if I recommend platinuming it, which I highly recommend platinuming Ghostwire. Ghostwire is a great game. The collectibles are all really unique, and they're very unique to Japanese folklore, which I thought was really cool as well. I've always loved games like that where they bring in the folklore of where they're from very well, and I think this one shows off Japanese folklore very well. On to number 9, we have A Plague Tale: Innocence. This one is on here a lot for the same reason a lot for Ghostwire. It's a great game and it has a great story, and going through that story for the platinum was a lot of fun. But on top of that, I resonated really well with the characters. I had a blast playing through it, and the collectibles weren't too difficult. They you could go back and get them at any point. And so after a bit, I just said, all right, I'm just going to focus on the game. And that's my favorite type of games where there's collectibles, is where you can focus on the game, come back and do the collectibles separately, but especially when you can just go get them through like a chapter select. It's always really fun because then it makes it about 10 times easier to go get them. I just finished Hitman Blood Money, which has no collectibles, but kind of, it has weapons you have to gather, but you have to go through the full level and you can chapter select, which was really nice. Sorry about that, head yawn. Which was really nice to be able to kind of just go back and do the weapons like that. But Plague Tale was so much fun, and the story was really unique. I'm very excited to play Requiem. I still haven't played it. I actually, of all the games that have sequels on the trophy challenge I did last year, I have yet to actually play through another game in the franchise. Not for lack of wanting to, just for lack of time. But Plague Tale Requiem is still on my to playlist. I'm very excited to check it out, even though I've heard it's a little bit harder and a little bit different to how Plague Tale Innocence plays. So, the mechanics for this game were really fun. I didn't really have a whole lot of gripes about it, honestly. It was fun. I think there was maybe a few miscellaneous trophies. I can't remember for sure. It's been a year now, legitimately a full year. It's the 2nd of January 2026, which means a year ago is when I platinumed this game. So trying to remember every little minute detail is hard right now. But yeah, it was a blast. I had a lot of fun playing it, and it was a hell of a way to kick off the challenge. On to number, probably like a 7 out of 10 for that one. I think the story is really what's going to either pull you in or put you off, and it being about the plague and everything like that and the rats and all that can probably be unsettling to some people, on top of the child neglect undertones they have on it. I would definitely say go into the game with a little bit of caution, but enjoy it because it's a great game. On to number 8, we have Endling Extinction is Forever. You're going to notice a theme. A lot of these games were in the Platinum Trophy Challenge. There's a few that weren't, but for the vast majority of these games, they were in the challenge. Endling was fantastic. I had a blast with that game. It blew me away, honestly. I don't think I expected it to be so moving for having no words spoken through the entire game. But I talked about it while I was doing Endling and while I was finishing it up. I love games that can show you a story and move you so much without ever speaking a word. And Endling is exactly that. It is a game where you have no dialogue and the story unfolds around you and you find out every little piece of what happened through your exploration, and it was great. I think that this is probably my favorite game on the challenge list. Obviously, it's not the number one spot here for reasons, but as far as what I chose for the challenge, it is one I do not regret to a single point. Like, it is a fantastic game. I had such a blast watching or playing through it. I genuinely have no bad words about this game. It is a 10 out of 10 recommendation for me. I think it is probably one of the best no dialogue stories I've ever played in my life. And if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend it. And if you have played it, like, you understand why I'm recommending it so highly. The story is really sad, though. I'll say that. I'm not going to go into spoiler territory. I would assume if you're watching this, you probably know the story at least to a degree. But it is kind of sad, so go into that being warned. On to number 7, we have Astrobot. I think this is the first one that wasn't part of the Platinum Challenge. I finally got Astrobot earlier last year. I don't remember exactly when. I think maybe October I got it or something like that. I got it not long before I played it. But I finally decided to get it and play through it, and I had a blast with it. Just like Astro's Playroom, the game is a love letter to PlayStation and its history. And for me, that's always going to be a thing that I love. I'm a nerd with that sort of shit. So getting to play through something where you're getting this flashback to PlayStation history, again, not as much as Playroom, obviously. I think that one had a lot more that you could see and do. But Astrobot still had a lot of fun throwback stuff that you got to see. Obviously, through all the bots that you rescue, there's a lot of throwbacks to past and present games through PlayStation history. The platforming got a little bit difficult after a while, which is why it's kind of further down on this list than I would expect most people to have it. And a lot of that is down to like the ending a few platform sections and some of the DLC stuff, which again, obviously, I try not to let the 100% slash DLC impact my rating of this because it's supposed to just be on the platinum itself. But since I was doing both at the same time, it kind of wove into it. And the levels where you play through like the different controller buttons for X, circle, triangle, and square to help you get the rest of the bots really started getting on my nerves. And then the ending speed run where you have to go get like the final bot or whatever also very much got on my nerves. But in the long run, I did end up getting it done. And I had a really fun time with the game. I think it was great. It was done really well. And I need more Astrobot in my life, PlayStation. Well, it's taking you so fucking long. Get Team Asobi working on more. No, in general, I do love the Astro franchise. Team Asobi do great work. They, again, a game with very little or no dialogue that tells a really good story. And I've loved every single one of them that I've played. I have Rescue Mission VR on my PlayStation 4. I've finished the Playroom VR, Astro's Playroom, and Astrobot now. So I think I've only got Rescue Mission to do, and I've got the whole franchise done until they release another one. But yeah, I love these games. Astro is such a cute little mascot for PlayStation at this point, and I think they've found their niche for him, and they found their niche for what they need, which is they've been missing a mascot, somebody that can represent PlayStation the way that Master Chief represents Xbox, or did represent Xbox at least, the way Mario represents Nintendo. I think Astro is, for better or worse, because I know a lot of people probably don't really like Astro very much. For better or worse, he is our mascot at this point. He's taken over where Sackboy left off, I guess is the best way to put it. I would probably say maybe a 6 out of 10. It can be kind of a pain in the ass at times, especially if you're not very good at platformers. The combat's not too difficult, thankfully, but yeah, the game can be a little difficult if you're not super good at platformers. So if you are really good at platformers, though, I highly recommend it. It's a great little fun platformer. It's not super hard, which is kind of the whole point of these games. They're kind of just supposed to be a trip down memory lane, so to speak. Next, at number 6, we have Little Kitty Big City. This is another game that I did while I was doing the trophy challenge. Actually, I did this while I was doing LA Noire, when I was on my huge break from LA Noire because I was burnt out on the challenge and the game and everything like that. I decided to go through this game because it had just launched on PlayStation, so I picked it up for like, I don't know, like $9-10, whatever the fuck it was on sale for at the time. It might have just been like $15. I think it might have just been the genuine price of the game. I just said fuck it, picked it up, and platinumed it in like a day and a half. It was fantastic. Another kind of little platformer game. I love these games where you just play as like an animal, just exploring a city and finding things out about life and all that sort of stuff. It was great. Another one with not really any dialogue, as far as I remember. I think there's a bit of dialogue, but not much. But I had a fantastic time with it. It originally released on Xbox, and I was like, man, if this was on PlayStation, I would have played the fuck out of this already, because I loved Stray, which is another game very much like this, where you play as a cat exploring a city. But instead of like a post-apocalypse, this is just a regular-ass, normal-ass city. And it finally launched on PlayStation, and I was like, alright, I'm going to jump in and play it. And I played it. I had a blast with it. I think I even remember texting... I think I texted Alex, or I texted his wife, and I said, you were right, I fucking love this game. Because when it had launched on Xbox, Alex was like, hey, have you played Little Kitty Big City? Because Cassie thinks you would love it. And I was like, no, I haven't, because it's not on PlayStation. It's only on Xbox right now. And had no idea it was going to launch on PlayStation a year later. So when it finally did, I played through it immediately. I had a blast with it. This is like an 8 out of 10. Again, if you aren't very good at platformer style games, I'd probably avoid this one. It's also got some puzzles to it. So again, you have to kind of really like that niche of game. But I had a blast with it. I think it was great, and I think the storytelling was amazing. And also, just, you know, getting to explore a city with a cat is just fun gameplay. If you don't like Stray, Obviously, this game's not really gonna be for you, but I did like Stray, and I like this game, and I think it's a great game and deserves a lot of love because the team behind it put in a lot of good work and made a very enjoyable game. Next, number 5, we have Unpacking. Again, back to the trophy challenge list with the replacement for Unravel 2, which, if I had finished the platinum, would have gone on the top 10 worst. I can already tell you that right now. But I switched out for Unpacking, which was just a cozy little relaxing game, and I had a blast with it. It was so much fun to play through, and I'm glad I finally played it, even though it took me way fucking longer to get it than it should have. But I had such fun playing it. It was so cozy and relaxing, and after Unravel 2 made me nearly have a fucking brain aneurysm, I kind of needed something fun and relaxing, and that's exactly what Unpacking was. You play through this person's life as they unpack the boxes, as they go through from childhood to adulthood, college, breakups, move-ins, all this sort of different interwoven stuff to see somebody's complete entire life unfold. And as somebody who has only moved 2 times in my life that I actually genuinely remember, it really shows that some people have vastly different lives to the way that other people do. Like, I think in that story alone, she moves in with like 3 or 4 different people at multiple points. She dates, I think she has a group of roommates. She moves in with a boyfriend who doesn't give a shit about her. She moves in with a boyfriend who loves her. I think eventually she's starting a family with a different significant other who does end up, being a very good significant other. It was great. Obviously, college dorm, moving back with her parents, and all that sort of stuff. And I think the fact that the game tells you so much story through the little things she owns and the different areas she's moving to and out of and all that stuff, I think it really, really puts into perspective how fleeting life can be and how even the smallest of things that we have an impact on the way we live our lives and how we feel. And having things that you care about not be cared about by somebody else can very much dampen your mood, and being able to have somebody who sees your shine and sees your spark and lets that be free, I think is insane. It's great. I love it. It really shows how different life can be between a few years, and I think Unpacking is a game a lot of people should play for that reason. It's a 10 out of 10 recommend for me. I think it's great. It's not super difficult. There's a little bit here and there where you don't really know what an item is, and it's kind of difficult to figure out where it's supposed to go, but for the most part, everything is fairly simple to put away and find where it goes. And the miscellaneous trophies are pretty easy. It's mostly just put this thing here, basically. Next, on number 4, we have It Takes Two. I did this one with Jesse. It was the first real break in the challenge that I took, which wasn't really intentional. Jesse and I just got very busy. I think this is right around the time he started his new job, or right before he started his new job. Something like that. But we were both very busy, and we didn't have a whole lot of time to play together at the time. And when we finally did get time, it was like 2 or 3 days in a row of just nonstop trying to finish the game and getting it done with and doing the miscellaneous trophies. But for me, that was such a fun time because I got to play through a game that I absolutely love with Jesse by my side. It was awesome. I love playing small little co-op games with him. I've now done It Takes Two and A Way Out both with Jesse, which was a lot of fun. It was great. I think those games are good, regardless of how kind of two-dimensional the stories can be. I think they're fun games to play, and it shows that co-op gaming deserves to have a place in the current year. I think so many studios are focused on making things big single-player extravaganzas or big multiplayer loot pack fucking filled riddled cesspools and not enough games and studios want to just do a fun little co-op game. And it shows the fact that this is the last multiplayer-focused game that's won the Game of the Year award at the Game Awards. It shows how much games like this do matter, and the story for this game is really, really sweet. It tells a story of parents who don't always focus on what their daughter needs, and the whole story is them trying to work together again because they realize how they're impacting their child. It's an interesting way to go about it, for sure, but I think it definitely got its point across, and my brain just fogged for a second, sorry. It definitely got its point across and really showed how couples therapy can work for certain situations, and how you have to sometimes be the bigger person and realize where you're going wrong for the betterment of somebody else. I don't remember if the game ends with them getting back together or if they still decide to split up, but they make it more obvious to the child that they're not going to stop loving them or seeing them because of it, which, as somebody who grew up on joint custody and my parents were never together in a time where I really remember, it means a lot to me for them to show that just because you live in two households doesn't mean there's a problem, and it doesn't mean your parents love you any less. I probably give this one like a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's really fun, but it can be kind of heavy for the way the story does come across. But it's fun. If you have somebody that you want to play through it with, go for it. It's a fun little time. But again, it is kind of a heavy story, so go through it carefully. On to number 3, we have Viewfinder. This was a cute little game that I finally finished up a couple days ago. One of my last platinums of 2025, actually. I started this one, I think, around when I was doing V Rising. I just kind of wanted something to play while Jesse and I were watching wrestling, and Viewfinder was in my catalog. I think I had picked it up through PlayStation Plus a few months or a year prior or something like that. I was like, fuck it, this shouldn't take too long. This looks fun. Why not? So I jumped into it, started playing it, and I loved it. And then I forgot about it for 3 months. Not for any real reason, just got busy with other games. Got busy trying to finish the challenge, and then was playing other stuff and trying to focus on those games. And eventually, as the year was winding down, I was like, all right, I got to finish this game. So I jumped back into it and had a blast with it. The story is really cute. The collectibles are all pretty easy. Where was it? Oh yeah, collectibles are all pretty easy to get, and the story eventually dives into something I wasn't really expecting. I don't want to spoil it because it's really good to play and hear and learn it on your own. But it was really good, and I had a blast with it. I think it was such an interesting and artsy game that I didn't really know how I was going to feel about it by the end of it. I didn't really know if it was going to be like, oh, I finished this. Was it really my thing, though? But no, I think it was great. I loved it. I had a blast with it. And I think this is a 10 out of 10 recommend for me. I think people should play this game. It's great. It's enjoyable. And the art style is really, really cute. I loved it. It was great. There's a few puzzles that can be a little bit difficult, but all in all, I think it's pretty easy to get through. I think I used a guide for a few of the puzzles, because there's a few where I just didn't see what the fucking solution was supposed to be. And then miscellaneous trophies, there's a few, but they're all pretty simple to get. They're pretty self-explanatory for the most part. And by the end of it, I was really happy I played through the game. I wish I would have finished it sooner than I did, but at least I went back and finished it. Number 2, we have Cat Quest. Again, this was on the Platinum Challenge for the year, the A to Z Challenge. I had a blast with this game. I still haven't played the sequels, which is not because I haven't wanted to. Again, I just haven't had time. I've been playing other things. But Cat Quest is great. I loved every moment of this game. It's a pun-filled masterpiece of stupidity and random combat, and yeah, I don't even know what to really say about Cat Quest that hasn't been said before, both by me and other people. It is such a fun, unique game, and the fact that it's gotten 2 sequels because of that, with more puns and stupid shit, makes me so happy because the game is genuinely enjoyable. And I mean, I finished it in a single 8-hour stream or whatever the fuck it was, so like you can clearly tell I enjoyed the game. On top of that, it was genuinely me wanting to catch up after Baja Edge of Control took me longer than I thought it would, and knowing that Deus Ex Mankind Divided was going to take me a while. So playing through it was really fun. Again, I recommend this one. This is a 10 out of 10 recommend. The combat's not super difficult. The story's really cool. The world building is awesome. The art style is fantastic. And Cat Quest and its sequels are probably some of the most unique and interesting games that have come out in the last 5 or 6 years, whatever. And I'm very happy that I finally played through it. And I cannot wait to play through the sequels. And I don't have much more to say about the Platinum experience, because for the most part, a lot of it was just collectible hunting. Like, just go get all of the armors and all of the weapons and defeat every dungeon and beat the game and all this stuff. And all of that was very easy to do. It was very, point A to point B, get this done, leave, get this done, leave, sort of thing. And it was very fun. The side quests were all really fun and enjoyable. And again, cat puns. Like, I'm a sucker for cat puns. I'm a sucker for puns in general. So Cat Quest was definitely well worth my time. It was a game that I genuinely enjoyed playing through, and I need to play through the sequels as soon as possible. And finally, the final game on the list. Alex is probably already knowing what this is because he's a jackass. It is Zombie Army Trilogy. This was the second to last game in the Platinum Trophy Challenge, where the last game was on the worst of list. This one is on the best of list. I will say there's definitely a few trophies on this that can probably make people go, well, why was this on here then? Because the trophy list isn't that easy. It doesn't matter how easy or hard the trophy list is for me. It matters of the experience I had while playing it, which is why Power Wash Simulator, even though I love the game, is an honorable mention on the worst of list, because genuinely the Platinum experience fucking sucked. But this one is on here for the fact of I played through it with my best friend. I had multiple of our friend group in the streams giving us shit and just having fun and joking around. And yeah, it was great. I loved this game. It's definitely... You can definitely tell the quality of life improvements that were made between this game and Zombie Army 4. I will say that. But as far as the experience of platinuming it goes, I had a lot more fun with this one than I did with Zombie Army 4, which I had platinumed 2 or so years ago. And my biggest thing for this one being so enjoyable for me is that I played through it with Alex. I had a blast with it. He was willing to help me play through this entire game, even though he's already beaten this game and already has the platinum, solely to to help me get it done for this challenge. And then for a bit of stream, we had our buddy Cal join in, which was really cool. And then I loaded up Jesse's account to be able to have a 4th character, so we get that trophy done with. Because you do have to play through an entire mission with 4 people, which is better than Zombie Army 4, where you have to play through the whole fucking game with 4 people. And yeah, there was a few trophies that got on my nerves a bit. I think what was it, times 5 or whatever, or times 8? I don't remember what the fuck it was. I think it was supposed to be like a 5 kill or some shit like that. That one was kind of a pain in the ass, but it gave us a funny soundboard when I got it. The grind for some of the special zombie kills was kind of annoying, but all in all, the game is still fun to play. It's an enjoyable game. and getting to play through all of it with my best friend was really fun, and genuinely for me was the best part about it, was the fact that instead of playing through it on my own and maybe not enjoying it, I got to play through it with somebody who I genuinely enjoy gaming with, and got to experience the entire game with him like that, and that was a lot of fun. We got to talk about the nuances of the game. We got to talk about our favorite things about the Zombie Army and Sniper Elite franchise, and the issues here in those franchises. And yeah, I had a blast with this one. The Platinum's not super difficult. I'd probably give it like maybe a 7 out of 10 recommend. Mostly because, one, you do have to play through on the hardest difficulty, and the hardest difficulty can be kind of unforgiving, but you put it to one person's worth of zombies and it's pretty easy. I think we ended up doing it on 2 for most of it, because I kept forgetting to change it to 1 or more. The kill trophies can be a little bit daunting at times and can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. I think by the end of it, all I had to do was maybe the kill X amount of zombies trophy, and then I was done. So the grind can be a little bit tedious at the end, but all in all, the game is a lot of fun to play. It's killing Nazi zombies. What more could you want, you know? Yeah, I had a blast with it. I kind of wish Rebellion would do another Zombie Army game and make it more like 3 and less like 4 in terms of the story and the trophies, but give me the gameplay and the added bonuses that 4 gave on top of the gameplay, because 4 is miles better gameplay wise than 3 was, but 3 was a much more enjoyable experience to play through. And yeah, I had a blast with it. I'm sure Alex knew that was going to be number 1 when he didn't hear it all the way up to like number 5. He's like, okay, there's no way, right? I should have just said it was in the honorable mentions and told him to go fuck himself. But no, it was great. I had a blast with it, and it really makes me remember why I love gaming in the first place. Getting to play with my friends, getting to game with them and have fun doing stupid shit with them. And Alex is, and always will be, my hard difficulty bitch, because he's helped me with Black Ops 3's some of the hard Black Ops 3's trophies, and has now helped me through Zombie Army Trilogy. I can't wait to tell him he gets to help me with more shit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay golden. Peace.